the nature of this course, realizing that we have so many different choices, and often we are choosing the one that's the most familiar, knowing what it is that I really, really desire. This course, mostly through some of the immersion exercises, really helped me to start to sort of delve in and unpack. I've definitely started to again sort of be brave enough to go, well, what would it be like to imagine, what would it be like to dream big? What is my potential really? And so then to come up with a sort of heart's desire statement and then make that the main focus on a day-to-day basis in this society. The greatest temptation is just to tread the same path. To even question that as being the right path is something in itself. There were lots of things that were really useful. There were several immersion exercises in where we are able to really see with no limits, what it is that we are really wanting for ourselves. Your work is very much about transformation and going much deeper than some of the other work I've done. I think I've done a lot of work where I understand intellectually from my head, but your work, I feel, touches a much deeper level of the unconscious. I had the most extraordinary dreams, is transforming on a much deeper level than perhaps some courses that I've been on. I'm an intellectual person and I can talk myself out of things, and so this felt different in that way. The other thing that I felt was really powerful for me was understanding, I guess it's sort of called attachment theories, enmeshed, dominant, submissive, codependent. I think they're the same thing. Aloof, which I understand sort of as avoidant attachment. What you helped us do was to get to feel what it's like viscerally, will really stay with me, and then finally to kind of feel what it's like to be in one's sovereign, where you're safe in yourself, you're grounded, you're centered, you're not really grasping or needing anything because it's all being nourished from within. So that's become my dream state, my desired state, without being aloof. But there's something about the sovereign. It's a very beautiful thing to even see in others, a great leader who has that power over others, but uses it with lots of integrity and softness. Thinking about that, I wanted to say that you, Elizabeth, facilitating our course felt like a very gentle leader who had the power to some extent, but was happy to gently lead us into these exercises, happy to come off script and then gently steering us back, focus back. So you structured the course really well at this because it's helped you transform in lots of different ways. So there's something about someone who's been through it that is reassuring and inspiring. I find being outside the house in general quite stressful. So I was on the way to see a friend on public transport and just everything was going wrong. I was feeling nervous about going to see this person anyway, but the train was delayed and I could see that I was going to be late. So I started to feel what happens to me is this low energy. Like I started to feel slightly depressed, anxious. This is how the day is now going to be because it started badly. And then I went and as I felt this coming into my body, I just went, no, I'm going to choose joy. Joy is actually an emotion that I'm not that familiar with. So I chose joy. As I arrived, I felt more excited about meeting this person. The anxiety had gone, and actually that then affected the whole of the afternoon. So that was a split decision of no to one thing, no to the trodden path, I guess, because that would be the trodden path. Hopeless, everything goes wrong, I'm not in control, public transport, to joy. I can control to some extent how I react to this. Tools, practical tools that you can then implement in your everyday life. You will come away with lots of insights. You'll get a better sense of what your heart's desire is. You'll get closer to knowing what that is. And then you'll be given tools to focus on that as opposed to all the other stuff, the programming, the conditioning. Actually, I don't deserve that. So it's a transformational course that changes on a very deep level what you thought you wanted, what you thought was enough, to choosing actually something much, much bigger, probably than you even realized you wanted. Definitely a moment last week where this sort of surge came through me, where I thought, I am enough. Through my life, I've had to wear different masks and put on different skins and toughen myself up to not depend on anyone. And there's a hardness to that. So that's delicate balance between being strong and sovereign and feminine and all that feminine has to offer. It was a real dropping off. It did feel like a big sort of sigh of relief in that, yeah, I don't have to strive. There should be a tagline about thriving and striving. I don't need to strive to thrive. We were a smallish group, but even in that, I just felt so moved on so many levels with others sharing their own experiences and how much I related to them. Incredibly bonding experience where you feel very close to everyone else because you get to share. I want more. Of this, when one says something out loud, names something and puts it out there, which we wouldn't do unless we were called to on a course like this. But I know another particular participant, as he named it started to happen. Being witnessed as you name something and getting clearer and clearer about what that statement is that you're sending out on a very subtle level for me. As I make these statements, I am seeing results. I'm seeing shifts happen. And with that foundation of clarity and peace, then I can build, I can create and manifest a lot. That foundation is unstable, then it's much more difficult to create. Often maybe with relationships could be anyone, friends, colleagues, personal relationships, and there's a sense of uncertainty. So I think this, having this clarity in myself helps me, a bit of an epiphany. That's something that I've always struggled with, my no. It's a really lovely choice. I choose you and I don't choose you. And it's done with love, giving myself that choice to choose who I have around me. So yes, coming back to in here is powerful. I will say, as to anyone again thinking about the course, it's not easy. It can be painful, all of this, but I think transformation is never easy. It shouldn't be. But what you give is a space for us to just imagine and visualize. I think I remember saying as a woman, I'm give, support, serve. I know as a fact that I am not as familiar or comfortable with receiving. So really learning to simply receive, it is amazing.